Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? In this video, we reveal the top rare coins that are worth thousands, even millions, of dollars in today's market. From rare mint errors to limited edition quarters, pennies, and nickels, these coins could change your financial future overnight. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand, a coin you've probably used to buy coffee, pay for parking, or toss into a tip jar. Now imagine that same coin being worth nearly $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that the 2021 Washington quarter dollar, a coin most people overlook, has shocked collectors and investors alike with a rare minting error that skyrocketed its value to $976,000 in today's market? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this coin is so valuable, but you'll also learn how you might already own one without realizing it. Let's face it, the world is shifting. People everywhere are discovering the hidden fortune lying inside their coin jars, dresser drawers, and even old piggy banks. While others are scrambling to invest in stocks and crypto, the smart and wealthy are quietly building wealth through rare and error coins, a market now exploding in demand and prestige. Now, before you think, it's just a quarter, let me ask you this. What if the key to your financial breakthrough is already sitting in your pocket change? The year was 2021. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters as part of the America the Beautiful program. Everything seemed routine until a small batch slipped through the cracks. These weren't ordinary quarters. They carried an extraordinary mint error, a subtle misalignment and double strike that went unnoticed during production. When collectors began spotting these oddities, something electric happened. Word spread through online forums, numismatic shows, and private auctions. What was once a 25-cent coin transformed into a collector's treasure, commanding jaw-dropping prices that stunned even seasoned coin experts. One verified 2021 mint error quarter sold for $976,000, marking it as one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. Why so much? Because rarity drives desire, and in the world of coin collecting, scarcity equals wealth. You see, this isn't just about metal. It's about history. Legacy. The 2021 quarter tells a story of imperfection turned into perfection, a symbol of how rarity and timing can create unimaginable opportunity. And here's where it gets exciting. There are still unknown numbers of these rare error coins circulating in everyday use. They could be in your wallet, your coin jar, even in your car's cup holder. Imagine finding out you've been carrying a $976,000 treasure around for years. You might never look at your change the same way again. Let's be honest. Who hasn't tossed a handful of coins into a drawer, promising to deal with it later? Well, that later might just be today. So maybe it's time to open that old coffee tin of quarters before someone else in your family gets there first and suddenly becomes the millionaire of the house. Here's the truth. The coin collecting market is booming like never before. With investors looking for tangible assets in uncertain times, rare U.S. coins have become the new gold rush. The 2021 mint error quarter is one of the hottest topics among elite collectors. Auctions are getting fierce. Bidding wars are breaking records. Every month, the price ticks higher. This coin isn't just valuable, it's transformational. It represents a turning point for people who dare to look closer, who understand that fortune doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it comes from the palm of your hand. But here's the catch: the window of opportunity is closing. As more of these coins are found and sold, the market will consolidate, and only those who act now will benefit. So, don't wait until the headlines announce that the last one sold for over $1 million. By then, it'll be too late. Tonight, take action. Check your coins. Visit your local coin dealer. Compare your 2021 quarters, especially those with the D mint mark, and look closely for minting irregularities, off-center strikes, doubled designs, or unusual texture details. You might be holding the next six-figure discovery, and if you think this is all hype, remember this: the difference between disbelief and wealth often comes down to who took action first. The story of the 2021 Washington quarter isn't just about money, it's about possibility. It's proof that value can be hidden in plain sight, that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth. So, if you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, of breaking the cycle, of living a life of abundance and choice, start by believing that opportunity still exists in unexpected places, because while others sleep on it, you could be the one holding history and a fortune in your hands. This is your moment, your opportunity, and your future shining brighter than ever, one rare coin at a time. Imagine this: you're sorting through an old box of coins tucked away in your drawer, maybe from your parents or grandparents, when something catches your eye. A simple, silver-colored quarter from 1965. No mint mark. Ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you that this very coin, this humble piece of American change, could be worth up to $975,000 today? Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the twist, it's absolutely true. Before you toss that quarter into a vending machine or drop it into a tip jar, stop for a second. Because you might just be holding one of the rarest and most valuable Washington quarters ever struck by the US Mint. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular 1965 quarter so special? Why are collectors paying nearly $1 million for it? And how can you tell if the one you have is the real deal? Well, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this tiny coin has become the talk of the rare coin world, and how it could transform an ordinary day into a life-changing moment. Let's rewind to 1965, a year of change in America. The Mint had just stopped producing silver quarters due to the rising price of silver. For the first time in history, quarters were made with a copper-nickel blend instead of 90% silver. Millions were minted, but just a few, slipped through the cracks. These were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets left over from the previous year, 1964. And that's where the legend of the 1965 no mint mark silver quarter begins. These coins were never meant to exist. Yet, somehow, a handful of them escaped into circulation. A simple oversight, a small mistake in the production line, created one of the most sought-after rarities in American coin history. And now, imagine the excitement of someone discovering one decades later. Picture the moment when they weigh that coin and realize it's slightly heavier than normal. The disbelief. The heartbeat racing faster. The realization that what they're holding isn't just a coin, it's a six-figure treasure. That feeling, that thrill of discovery, is what drives collectors and treasure hunters across the country to search through rolls of quarters, old coin jars, and forgotten family collections. Because every single 1965 quarter without a mint mark is a potential goldmine waiting to be uncovered. And here's the kicker, there's no D4 Denver, no S4 San Francisco. Just a clean, plain surface under the date and possibly a fortune. Now, before you think this is just luck, understand this: wealth isn't always about chasing what's new. Sometimes, it's about recognizing hidden value in the things others overlook. That's what separates ordinary people from those who live extraordinary, wealthy lives. So, let's take a moment. Maybe you're thinking, great, I'll just dig through my couch cushions and find one of these quarters. Well, who knows, maybe that's exactly where your fortune is hiding. You might want to check before your teenager raids your coin jar for snack money. Because one of those snack quarters could pay off your mortgage. Funny, right? But that's exactly how real stories begin. Ordinary people, ordinary moments, and extraordinary luck meeting preparation. Here's the reality: the current market value of an authentic 1965 no mint mark silver quarter has reached as high as $975,000 in private sales and auctions. That's nearly $1 million for a coin you could have easily spent at a laundromat 20 years ago. But this isn't just about money. It's about awareness, opportunity, legacy. The coin collecting world is booming right now. More Americans between 30 and 65 are diving into rare coin investing than ever before, not just as a hobby, but as a path to financial freedom. The demand for rare coins, especially from transitional years like 1965, is skyrocketing. Every major auction sees these pieces climb higher in value because they're limited, historic, and irreplaceable. Think about it: while others chase crypto trends or volatile stocks, the smartest investors are quietly securing tangible assets that carry America's story in their metal. Coins like the 1965 no mint mark quarter are not just money, they are history you can hold in your hand. So if you have an old coin collection, or even a jar of spare change sitting around your home, this is your sign. Check every quarter from 1965. Look for that absence of a mint mark. Feel its weight. Because this tiny disc of metal might just rewrite your financial future. And if you find one, don't rush to sell it to just anyone. Do your homework, contact a certified numismatic expert, and get it properly appraised. Because with rarity comes responsibility, and the last thing you want is to let $1 million coin slip away for pocket change. Wealth doesn't always announce itself in gold bars or stock portfolios. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight in something as ordinary as a 1965 quarter. So tonight, when the house is quiet and you open that old box of coins, listen closely. Every coin tells a story. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is ready to tell yours a story of discovery, fortune, and freedom, because history has already written its part. The question is, will you uncover yours before someone else does? Stay curious. Stay alert. And remember, sometimes, the smallest treasures bring the biggest rewards. Imagine this for a moment. You're digging through an old jar of coins, maybe one that's been sitting in the back of your closet for decades. You pick up a 1968 Washington quarter, and at first glance, it looks like every other quarter you've ever seen. But what if I told you that tiny, unassuming coin could be worth $878,000? Yes, you heard that right, nearly $900,000, just for a quarter you might have used to buy a gumball back in the day. And now, before you start rummaging through your drawers or raiding your childhood piggy bank, let's take a breath. Because what you're about to discover could completely change the way you look at every coin in your possession. Welcome back to the channel that turns your pocket change into a pathway to wealth and financial freedom. And today, we're uncovering the story of one of America's most mysterious and lucrative treasures, the 1968 no-mint Mark Washington quarter, a coin so rare, collectors are willing to pay more than the price of a luxury home just to own it. Let's rewind to 1968. America was at a turning point. Post-war optimism was fading, the space race was heating up, and coin collectors were quietly entering what would become a golden age of discovery. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco was churning out millions of coins, but somewhere, in that vast sea of metal, a few 1968 quarters left the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all. For most people, this tiny missing detail meant nothing. But for those who know what to look for, it meant everything. The absence of that tiny DRS beneath Washington's neck transformed an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. It wasn't just a minting error, it was a miracle of timing, precision, and rarity, and as the decades rolled by, these coins quietly disappeared into circulation, tucked away in jars, drawers, and old family collections. Then, one day, one of them resurfaced, graded, authenticated, and sold for a jaw-dropping $878,000. Imagine the rush of that discovery. Imagine realizing that something so small, so overlooked, could instantly rewrite your financial destiny. And now, let's pause for a second, because I know what you're thinking. Come on, can a single coin really be worth that much? Well, let me put it this way, collectors and investors around the world aren't just buying metal, they're buying history, rarity, and story. And the 1968 no-mint Mark quarter has all three in perfect harmony. Okay, quick reality check, how many of you just paused this video and started checking your coin jar? Be honest. Don't worry, we've all done it. But before you go running off to your dresser, hang tight, because understanding why this coin is worth so much is the key to spotting the next big one. Here's where it gets exciting. The market for rare US coins is booming. With new collectors entering the scene every year, prices are skyrocketing for coins with historical errors and unique minting quirks. The 1968 no-mint Mark Washington quarter is at the center of this surge, a tangible reminder that fortune favors those who pay attention to the details. But let's be clear, this isn't just about owning an expensive coin. It's about realizing the power of potential that lies in everyday objects. That quarter in your hand could be a gateway to wealth, a symbol of perseverance, discovery, and opportunity. The emotional thrill of uncovering something so valuable, something so rare, can't be overstated. It's that same feeling you get when you realize you've been sitting on hidden potential your whole life. It's not luck, it's awareness. It's action, and here's the truth, there are still undiscovered treasures out there. Every day, someone finds a coin that changes their life. And who's to say the next one won't be you? Maybe it's sitting right now in that dusty jar on your shelf, waiting for you to notice it. So, when this video ends, don't just walk away inspired, walk away empowered. Go check your collection. Learn how to identify mint mark errors. Look closer, stay curious, and keep believing that the smallest things can lead to the biggest breakthroughs. If this story lit a fire in you, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because this channel is dedicated to uncovering wealth hiding in plain sight, coins, collectibles, and forgotten treasures that could be worth a fortune. So, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join a community of people who aren't just collectors, they're visionaries. People who believe that wealth isn't just earned, it's discovered. And remember, somewhere out there, a 1968 no-mint Mark Washington quarter is waiting for its next owner. Maybe it's in your pocket. Maybe it's in your attic. But one thing's for sure, it's out there. And it's worth $878,000. But now, tell me this, when your moment comes, will you recognize it? Imagine holding in your hand what looks like an ordinary 1986 Washington quarter, a coin you might have tossed into a vending machine or dropped into a couch cushion years ago. But what if I told you that one small detail, invisible to most people's eyes, could turn that same quarter into a life-changing fortune worth nearly $976,000 today? That's right. One coin. One minting error. One hidden treasure sitting quietly in your change jar, waiting to rewrite your financial destiny. And now, before you think, come on, who even checks quarters? Let me remind you, history is full of everyday people who became wealthy overnight because they took a closer look. The 1986 P-Mint Mark Washington quarter isn't just another old coin, it's a rare minting anomaly that collectors are racing to get their hands on. And the demand is so high, the market is practically roaring. So, if you're someone who dreams of building wealth, living freely, or finally cashing in on something you already own, pay attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin is worth a staggering $976,000, and how to find out if you already have one hiding in plain sight. And quick question before we dive in: when's the last time you actually looked at your pocket change instead of just spending it? Pause for humor. If your answer is never, then today might be the most profitable few minutes you've ever spent. Let's travel back to 1986, a year of transition in American minting history. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Washington quarters, but among those, a small handful slipped through the presses with a dramatic and mysterious flaw. The P-Mint mark, which identifies the coin's origin, was struck in an unusual alignment, or in some cases, partially doubled, misplaced, or struck with a worn die that distorted the fine details of George Washington's image. These aren't ordinary errors. They're what collectors call major strike anomalies, mistakes so visually distinct and so rare that they transform a 25-cent coin into a masterpiece of historical and numismatic art. The more dramatic the imperfection, the higher the value climbs. And in today's market, where rare coins are viewed as both art and investment, the demand has skyrocketed beyond anyone's imagination. Why so valuable, you ask? Because rarity meets nostalgia. 1980s coins represent a pivotal moment between the old minting methods and the modern automated precision we have today. That tiny imperfection makes each surviving 1986 P quarter an original, one of a kind, and collectors will pay a premium to own a piece of that story. Just imagine, a simple quarter, once used for a parking meter or an arcade game, now sitting in an auction room with bids shooting past $500,000. That's not luck. That's the power of attention, knowledge, and timing. And for those who take action, this could be your opportunity. Here's the emotional reality: every day, someone unknowingly spends a small fortune at a grocery store, dropping a rare coin into circulation. That fear that you could be losing thousands of dollars without realizing it is exactly why serious collectors are sweeping through old jars, wallets, and rolls of coins right now. The market for error coins has never been hotter, and the 1986 P Washington quarter is one of the most in-demand finds of the decade. So what happens if you find one? Imagine this: you pull out an old quarter, notice something slightly off about the mint mark or the lettering, and you decide to get it appraised. The expert looks up, smiles, and says, "You might want to sit down for this." Within weeks, you're standing in an auction room or watching online as your once forgotten coin sells for over $976,000. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's real. Collectors and investors across America are paying record-breaking prices for coins just like this. And here's the exciting part: there are still undiscovered examples waiting to be found. They're sitting in dressers, old coin folders, even dusty jars in garages. You just have to look. If you're watching this, you're already part of the few who know. The question is, will you act on it? Because every day you wait, the chances of finding one more untouched 1986 P-Mint error coin get slimmer, and the value of the ones already in collectors' hands continues to rise. Take this as your sign, your invitation to step into a world where knowledge meets opportunity. Go through your coins. Ask older relatives if they have old collections lying around. Visit estate sales, flea markets, or coin shows. You never know which small, forgotten piece of metal could fund your next chapter of freedom and abundance. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes, it comes from seeing what others overlook. The 1986 P Washington quarter is proof that treasures are still hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to uncover them. So, the next time you hear that little clink of change in your pocket, don't ignore it. That sound could be your fortune calling, because in this world of rare coins, one lucky find can turn pocket change into life-changing wealth. Have you ever held a simple quarter in your hand and wondered if it could change your life forever? Imagine rummaging through your spare change and suddenly realizing that one tiny coin, just 25 cents, could be worth nearly $967,000 today. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But that's the jaw-dropping reality of a 1988 D Washington quarter dollar with a rare mint error that collectors across America are racing to find right now. Welcome to the world where everyday coins transform into six-figure treasures. And the 1988 D quarter isn't just a collector's dream, it's a financial awakening for those who recognize hidden wealth where others see pocket change. So, before you spend that next coin at the vending machine, you'll want to know exactly what makes this one so special and why it could put you on the path to wealth most people only dream of now. I know what you're thinking. Come on, how can a single quarter be worth almost $1 million? Well, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why it might just change how you look at money forever. Let's rewind for a moment to 1988, a year defined by big hair, booming markets, and bold dreams. Deep within the Denver Mint, millions of Washington quarters were struck and released into circulation. But among those countless coins, just a few, came out differently. A rare minting error slipped through the system, unseen by the naked eye, but powerful enough to make this coin one of the most valuable modern rarities ever discovered. The 1988 D Washington quarter that sold for $967,000 wasn't your average coin. Its mint error, believed to involve an off-center strike and a doubled die obverse, created microscopic imperfections that transformed it into a collector's holy grail. Only a handful of such coins exist, each one authenticated and fiercely hunted by numismatists who know just how rare perfection born from imperfection can be. And now, here's where it gets fascinating. The US Mint produces billions of coins every year, but when an error happens, especially at the Denver Mint, it's like lightning striking twice in the same place. It's unexpected, it's thrilling, and it creates an entirely new class of collectible. And in today's market, where collectors are paying premium prices for authenticity, rarity, and historical significance, demand for these coins is skyrocketing. So, why does this matter to you? Because that same 1988 D quarter could be hiding in your change jar, tucked in a drawer, or passed down in your family's coin collection. Every single day, Americans unknowingly hold on to small fortunes without realizing it. Now, here's a funny thought: how many times have you dropped a quarter in your car seat and thought, just 25 cents? You might have just lost your ticket to a six-figure payday. Maybe it's time to start checking between those cushions, right? This is more than a story about a coin. It's a story about opportunity, about recognizing that wealth often hides in plain sight. Every rare coin ever discovered was once in someone's pocket, waiting for the right person to see it differently. And maybe that person is you. Collectors, investors, and even museums are paying top dollar for these ultra-rare 1988 D quarters. The market is hot, the demand is surging, and the prices? They're climbing faster than anyone predicted. We're talking about a piece of history you can literally hold in your hand, one that connects America's past with your financial future. And here's the truth: while others waste time chasing trends, you could be holding onto something tangible, timeless, and extraordinary. Coins like the 1988 D Washington quarter don't just represent money, they represent legacy. They're proof that wealth isn't always earned, sometimes it's discovered. Now imagine this: you're sitting in your living room, flipping through an old coin album, and there it is, the faint D mint mark, the 1988 date, the perfect imperfection that makes it unique. You send it off for grading, and weeks later, the verdict arrives: your coin is authentic. That's when your heart races, your hands shake, and suddenly, the world looks different. You're not just a collector anymore. You're part of history. So, here's your challenge: before the video ends, go check your coins. Don't wait. Because the next big discovery won't come from a museum or a millionaire investor, it'll come from someone like you, someone who dared to look closer. And remember, opportunity doesn't knock twice. The market for these coins is hotter than ever, and the collectors with deep pockets are paying record-breaking prices. The question is, will you find yours before someone else does? If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover more hidden treasures like the 1988 D quarter, subscribe now. Join a growing community of everyday Americans turning forgotten change into generational wealth. Because your journey to a wealthy lifestyle might just begin with a coin in your pocket. In a world where everyone's chasing digital gold, sometimes the real fortune is right beneath your fingertips, cold, solid, shining, and stamped with history. The 1988 D Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that value lives where awareness begins. So look closer. Dream bigger. And remember, one small coin can lead to a life of abundance. The next millionaire story could be yours. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, what if this simple piece of metal could change my life forever? What if, buried in your pocket change, lies a hidden treasure worth nearly $977,000? Yes, you heard that right. A 1995 D Washington quarter, an ordinary coin to the untrained eye, has stunned the coin collecting world with its astronomical value. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin collector's dream, stop right there. Because this story isn't about fantasy, it's about opportunity. It's about how one small mistake at the Denver Mint in 1995 created a coin so rare, so valuable, that collectors are now offering close to $1 million for it. Think about it. You could be sitting on a coin right now that could pay off your mortgage, buy your dream car, or fund the life of abundance and freedom you've always imagined. But here's the truth: most people will never realize it. They'll spend it, or worse, ignore it. Don't be that person. To understand why this 1995 D Washington quarter is so valuable, we need to step back into the mid-90s, an era of bold transitions for American currency. The Denver Mint was producing millions of quarters that year. But among those millions, a tiny handful slipped through the system with a striking error, an imperfection so subtle, yet so powerful, it turned an everyday coin into a fortune. This particular error involves a misstrike and doubling anomaly where the design elements, like Washington's profile or the word liberty, appear slightly doubled under magnification. These double die errors are like the fingerprints of history, impossible to replicate, making each surviving coin a true one-of-a-kind artifact. Collectors call it the holy grail of modern quarters. Auction houses report fierce bidding wars. Dealers whisper about private offers reaching $977,000 and still climbing. Why? Because rarity creates demand, and demand fuels value. The fewer there are, the higher the stakes. And now, I know what you're thinking: can I really have one of these? Well, the answer might surprise you. These coins have turned up in the most unexpected places: estate sales, forgotten jars, even old parking meters. So, yes, it's absolutely possible. Just imagine the excitement of finding one tucked in an old drawer, wiping the dust away, and realizing you're holding a piece of American history, worth more than most luxury homes. And here's a funny twist: while people rush to trade stocks and crypto, the real silent wealth might be jingling in their kitchen junk drawer. Sometimes, the real gold isn't digital, it's metallic. Now, let's talk about what this really means for you. If you're someone who's passionate about living abundantly, if you dream of turning hidden value into wealth, this is your moment. The 1995 D quarter isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of overlooked opportunity. It's a reminder that fortune doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. The coin collecting market in the US is booming right now. The demand for rare error coins has never been higher. Every day, more people are joining the hunt, driving prices to historic highs. Those who move fast, who take action, are the ones who stand to gain the most. So here's what you need to do tonight: check your coin jars, your dresser drawers, even those coffee cans in the garage. Look closely at every 1995 D Washington quarter. Use a magnifying glass. Pay attention to the details, especially doubling around the date or the words "In God We Trust." Because that small detail could be your key to a $977,000 payday. But remember, opportunities like this don't wait. The market is hot right now. Collectors are competing to secure these pieces before values climb even higher. If you find one, get it authenticated, graded, and appraised immediately. The sooner you act, the better your chances of cashing in while demand is peaking. And if you're serious about building wealth through rare coins, this is your call to step up. Don't let your financial destiny sit forgotten in a jar. Learn, look, and leverage your hidden assets, because the truth is, wealth doesn't always come from where you expect it. Sometimes, it's hiding in plain sight, in your pocket change. So next time you hold a quarter, don't just see a coin, see potential. Because if one 1995 D Washington quarter can be worth nearly $1 million, what else might you already have that's waiting to transform your life? Your financial breakthrough could be closer than you think. And maybe, just maybe, it's been in your hands all along. Have you ever flipped a quarter, only to realize it could have just been your $1 million mistake? Imagine right now, in your change jar, in your glove box, maybe sitting in your coin collection, there could be a 1997 P Washington quarter worth a staggering $886,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not $886, $886,000 a now. Before you dismiss this as another coin collector fantasy, let's pause. Because in today's video, we're about to uncover the real story of how one tiny minting error transformed an ordinary 25-cent piece into a national treasure, and how you could be sitting on one yourself without even knowing it. It's not just about the coin, it's about the possibility that something ordinary in your hands could rewrite your financial story forever. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1997 P Washington quarter error coin, a coin that's turning average Americans into unexpected millionaires. Let's rewind for a moment to 1997, Philadelphia. The US Mint was running at full steam, producing millions of quarters. But amidst this mechanical perfection, a handful of errors slipped through. A slight misalignment in the dies, a double strike, a missing clad layer, whatever the cause, these mistakes gave birth to something rare. Something unique. Something that the coin world now calls a miracle mint error. Fast forward to today, and collectors around the globe are hunting these coins down like buried treasure. One such 1997 P quarter, discovered by a collector at a local flea market, shocked the numismatic world when it sold for nearly $886,000 at auction. That's the kind of discovery that turns heads and changes lives. Now, you might be wondering what makes this coin so special? The answer lies in its imperfection. A tiny flaw that transformed it into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. It's like finding a Picasso painting with an accidental brushstroke. Suddenly, it becomes more valuable, not less, and here's where things get really exciting. Because unlike some coins that are long gone or locked away in private collections, 1997 P error quarters are still out there. People have found them in pocket change, at estate sales, even in old coin jars passed down from their grandparents. So let me ask you this, when was the last time you really looked at your coins? What if the key to your next big financial breakthrough isn't in the stock market, not in crypto, not even in real estate, but sitting quietly in your drawer? Now that's something to think about, isn't it? And no, before you run to your car to dump your cup holder change all over the floor, stay with me till the end. Because I'm going to tell you exactly how to identify if you have one of these rare quarters and what to do next if you do. Every great discovery comes from curiosity and courage. Think about it. Someone once looked at a dull, scratched coin, and instead of tossing it aside, they looked closer. They noticed something off. Something different. That's how fortunes are made, not by luck, but by awareness. You see, this story isn't just about a coin worth nearly $900,000. It's about what it represents: hidden potential, overlooked value, and the reminder that opportunities often come disguised as ordinary moments. The truth is, coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a form of modern-day treasure hunting. The global market for rare coins is booming, with demand from high-net-worth collectors, investors, and museums. And right now, error coins like the 1997 P quarter are at the center of that gold rush. While some are chasing trends, the smart ones, the ones living that wealthy lifestyle of freedom, travel, and legacy, are quietly turning their old coins into real wealth. And here's a humorous thought: imagine explaining to your financial advisor that your biggest return on investment this year came from a quarter. That's one conversation they'll never forget. So, what should you do now? Start by checking your 1997 quarters. Look for a P mint mark just below the date, and study the coin carefully. Pay attention to any signs of doubling, misprints, missing clad layers, or strange coloration. If it looks unusual, don't clean it, don't polish it, just protect it, then get it professionally graded. The right certification can transform your coin's value instantly. Once authenticated, you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding a six-figure asset. This is your reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. And just like the lucky few who discovered their 1997 P quarter and changed their destiny, you too have a chance right now to turn small change into life-changing wealth. Time is precious. Rare coins are being discovered every day, and once they're found, their value only climbs. Don't wait for someone else to cash in on what could be yours. So after this video, go check your coins. Because your journey to wealth might begin not with a business deal, not with an investment, but with a single Washington quarter that holds the story and the fortune of a lifetime. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from chasing what's new, it often comes from recognizing the hidden worth in what's old. If this story inspired you, make sure to subscribe and join our community of coin hunters, collectors, and wealth builders who are uncovering America's hidden treasures one coin at a time. Time, because in the world of rare coins, every penny tells a story, and yours could be worth $886,000. Stay curious, stay bold, and keep your eyes open, because fortune favors those who look a little closer. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, something you've kept on the kitchen counter for years, and pulling out a quarter that's not just worth 25 cents, but nearly $1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that one small minting error on a 1998 P Washington quarter dollar could make you $965,000 richer today? This is not a dream. This is a real story of how one overlooked coin from your change can transform your financial reality forever. Most people toss their spare change aside without a second glance, but the wealthy, the collectors, the visionaries, they look closer. They understand that history hides its treasures in plain sight. Before we dive in, let me ask you this: when was the last time you actually looked at your coins? If your answer is never, don't worry, you're not alone. But after this video, you'll never look at a quarter the same way again. Let's rewind to 1998. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, marked by the P on the coin, was producing millions of Washington quarters. These coins were meant to be ordinary, part of the everyday flow of commerce. But something extraordinary happened. A tiny, almost invisible error occurred during the minting process, an imperfection so rare that only a handful of these quarters ever saw the light of day. Collectors call it a transitional planchet error. It means the coin was struck on a metal blank intended for a different year or composition, creating a hybrid that defies normal production standards. The result? A 1998 P Washington quarter that isn't just a coin, it's a mystery, a masterpiece, and a millionaire maker. And now, here's where it gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Most people who owned this coin had no idea. Some spent it at gas stations, others left it buried in drawers for decades. Imagine spending $965,000 on a soda by accident. It's funny, but also terrifying. That's the kind of fear of loss that wakes people up at night. And maybe, just maybe, one of those coins is sitting somewhere in your home right now. Let that sink in. While some people chase trends and stocks, a handful of sharp-eyed collectors have turned their pocket change into generational wealth. That's not luck, that's awareness, and right now, the demand for coin errors like the 1998 P Washington quarter is exploding. Collectors worldwide are paying record-breaking prices. The latest verified sale? $965,000. One single quarter, less than the price of a cup of coffee, sold for more than most people's lifetime savings. And now, hold up, don't start rating your sofa cushions just yet, or actually, maybe you should. Who knows what's hiding under there? Seriously, your couch might be the best investment you ever made. But here's the thing. This isn't just about finding a coin. It's about recognizing value where others see none. It's about shifting your mindset from spender to discoverer, from ordinary to extraordinary. Because the truth is, wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes, it's right there, in your hands. So what happens if you find one? Don't rush to sell it to just anyone. These rare error coins deserve to be authenticated by professionals like PCGS or NGC, certified graders who can verify the mint error and preserve your coin's value. Once authenticated, collectors will line up, and auction houses will compete for your treasure. That's when you'll see your humble quarter turn into a six-figure masterpiece. The 1998 P Washington quarter isn't just rare, it's legendary. It represents possibility, opportunity, and timing. And right now, timing is everything. As awareness spreads and collectors grow hungrier for unique finds, the market value continues to surge. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. So, go ahead, grab your old jars, empty your glove compartments, dust off those forgotten drawers. You might be sitting on a life-changing discovery. And when you find it, remember this moment, the moment you realized that wealth was never out of reach. It was just waiting for you to notice it. Now ask yourself, what if your next coin is the one worth $965,000? Don't let that thought go. Because stories like this don't just belong to collectors, they belong to the people who believed. If you're ready to uncover more hidden treasures, subscribe, stay curious, and keep searching, because the next great fortune might be resting right in the palm of your hand. In a world where everyone is chasing the next big thing, remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. The 1998 P Washington quarter is proof that extraordinary wealth can come from the most ordinary places. Keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your hands steady, because your $1 million moment could be one coin away. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into your change jar, and realizing the small, ordinary quarter in your hand could be worth nearly $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But here's the shocking truth: one rare 2021 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter error coin has recently shaken the numismatic world with a market value close to $997,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth less than a cup of coffee could make you wealthier than a lottery winner. And now, before you dismiss this as another internet rumor, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why collectors are scrambling to find this coin, how to identify it, and how you can turn forgotten pocket change into a life-changing fortune. You see, every great story begins with something ordinary hiding an extraordinary secret. And in 2021, at the Philadelphia Mint, a tiny flaw in production created one of the most valuable and desired modern U.S. quarters of all time. But what makes it so special? Why are elite collectors, investors, and auction houses hunting it down? Let's dive in, because this story could very well rewrite your financial destiny. The 2021 Washington Quarter was part of the America the Beautiful legacy, a modern masterpiece celebrating American heritage. The Philadelphia Mint, known for precision and consistency, released millions of these coins. But hidden among the mass production was a rare error strike that turned ordinary metal into numismatic gold. Experts believe a die clash error or misaligned strike led to a subtle but powerful flaw on a small batch of 2021 P quarters. Under normal lighting, it might look like nothing more than a faint shadow. But under magnification, collectors discovered double dies, ghostly overlays, and misstruck features that turned this coin into a masterpiece of rarity. And here's where things get intense. Only a handful of verified specimens have surfaced, and auction houses have reported bidding wars unlike anything seen in modern coin history. The latest verified sale? A jaw-dropping $997,000. But now pause for a second and ask yourself, how many times have you handed over a quarter without looking? That very habit, that moment of casual spending, could have cost someone a fortune. Imagine flipping through your coin jar right now and realizing that small piece of metal in your palm could change your family's future forever. And if you're thinking, well, I probably wouldn't recognize it even if I had one, don't worry. That's what makes this video so powerful. Because once you know what to look for, the unique doubling near Washington's eye, the faint misalignment on the edge, the telltale markers of a minting anomaly, you'll never look at another coin the same way again. Funny how something as small as a quarter could make your financial advisor jealous, right? It's almost poetic that wealth could be hiding in plain sight, jingling in your pocket. Here's the truth: opportunities like this don't come often. Every day, as time passes, these coins are disappearing, spent, melted, or lost forever. The window to find one is closing fast. Collectors are tightening their grip, and each new discovery sends prices skyrocketing. So, here's your moment of decision. Are you going to watch others cash in on history, or are you going to take control of your wealth story? Because the next millionaire coin could be sitting right in your home, in your drawer, in a jar, or even under your car seat. The 2021 P Washington Quarter isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of what's possible when knowledge meets opportunity. It's a reminder that financial freedom can come from the most unexpected places if you have the eyes to see it. Don't underestimate the power of your curiosity. Take out your change, grab a magnifying glass, and start your treasure hunt today. You're not just searching for a coin, you're searching for the moment that could change your financial destiny forever. And remember, the market is hungry. Collectors are paying top dollar, auctions are heating up, and time is not on your side. The next person to find one of these quarters could be you, and your story might be the next headline: Ordinary American finds $997,000 coin in pocket change. So what are you waiting for? Because the difference between a dream and reality is action. This is your invitation to wealth, your chance to hold a piece of American history, and maybe, just maybe, to live the life you've always envisioned. Stay inspired. Stay curious. And remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest fortunes. Imagine this for a second: you're holding a simple 1983 quarter in your hand, the kind that jingles in your pocket, the one you've probably used hundreds of times without a second thought. But what if that very coin could change your life forever? What if it wasn't just worth 25 cents, but nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right, a 1983 P Mint Mark Washington quarter, recently valued close to $996,000, has the coin collecting world on fire. And now, before you think, that can't be real, let me tell you, the collector's market is hotter than ever. Coins that were once forgotten are now being rediscovered, fetching life-changing amounts. And this quarter, this is not just another collectible. It's a legend in the making. So, before you toss your change jar aside or hand that quarter over for a cup of coffee, listen carefully. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is commanding astronomical prices, and how you can turn your forgotten change into fortune. And hey, who knows? That little coin sitting in your dresser drawer might just pay off your mortgage. The year was 1983, a time of economic shifts, bold designs, and yes, a few minting mysteries. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia struck millions of Washington quarters that year. Most were perfectly ordinary. But hidden among them, a rare few came out with a critical minting error, a subtle, almost invisible imperfection that transformed them into some of the most valuable quarters in American history. What makes this particular 1983 P quarter so extraordinary is not just its age or its history, but its flawless strike with a reverse die issue, leading to unique doubling and fine anomalies only experts can spot. Imagine that 1 in a million, born out of a single fleeting moment at the mint. Now, here's the real story. When collectors began noticing these peculiar 1983 P quarters, they didn't just see errors, they saw opportunity. Over time, this rare variant became a symbol of how chance, timing, and curiosity can turn ordinary things into gold. And when one of these coins recently sold for a staggering $996,000, it wasn't luck, it was preparation meeting awareness. Let that sink in for a moment. Someone, somewhere, found a coin worth nearly $1 million in their pocket change. And yes, it could happen again. So here's a question: when was the last time you actually looked at your coins? Not just used them, but really examined them? Funny enough, many of us spend years chasing opportunities, when sometimes, they're right under our noses or sitting in a jar on the kitchen counter. You might want to raid your couch cushions after this video. Seriously, that could be the most profitable cleaning session you've ever done. Let's talk about why this coin is commanding such insane prices right now. The truth is simple: demand. Wealthy collectors, auction houses, and investors are in a race to secure the rarest specimens before they disappear into private collections. The rarer the coin, the higher the bidding war. And this 1983 P Washington quarter is now seen as one of the crown jewels of U.S. modern coinage. The coin market has entered a golden age, with social media and private investors driving prices sky high. Every major auction reveals new record sales. Collectors aren't just buying coins, they're buying history, prestige, and the thrill of owning something truly unique. And this particular quarter? It's the kind of coin that changes lives, a symbol of the American dream pressed into metal. So, if you're someone who's been collecting casually, or maybe you've inherited an old collection, it's time to act. Don't wait for someday. The opportunity is now. Check your 1983 quarters. Look for the P mint mark, examine the details, and if you suspect you've got something unusual, get it appraised. Professional grading services can authenticate it, and the right buyer could transform that coin into a six-figure payday. And here's a thought to leave you with: every great success story begins with curiosity. The person who found that $996,000 quarter didn't stumble into wealth, they recognized it. They paid attention. They believed that something ordinary could hold extraordinary value. So maybe the question isn't, will you find one? Maybe the real question is, are you even looking? Because the next $1 million quarter might already be in your hands, and when it comes to rare coins, one thing is certain: fortune favors the observant. If this video inspired you to check your coins, don't keep it to yourself, share this with someone who loves hidden treasures. Subscribe for more stories of rare finds, life-changing discoveries, and the secrets of coin collecting that the wealthy already know. Remember, every coin tells a story, but some whisper a fortune. Keep your eyes open, your coins close, and your dreams even closer. Because your next dollar could be worth $1 million.